The garage is already going up. But the most important part of this build is not this first wall. It is getting this blueprint before the event is gone. This is the Mos Espa Speeder Garage in LEGO Fortnite, and it comes from Din Djarin and Grogu's Mandalorian questline. If you only check the build menu and expect it to be sitting there for free, you can miss the whole thing. That is why I wanted to build it right away on screen, while also showing exactly why this prefab is worth unlocking. Because this is not one of those tiny event decorations that you place once and forget. It is a full guided build. It has weight, it takes up real space, and from the first few pieces you can already tell it is meant to become part of a vehicle area. And the timing matters. You can complete this event until June 6, so if you want the full set of blueprints from Din Djarin and Grogu, this is the time to finish the questline. I would not stop after one reward, because the vehicles and buildings work much better when they are unlocked together. Today I am focusing on the Mos Espa Speeder Garage, but this is really part of a bigger Star Wars setup. The first thing you need is Din Djarin and Grogu. They do not just appear anywhere at random. You need a world with a proper village square, because that is where the event characters can show up. So if you are running around and Mando is nowhere to be found, I would check the village first before assuming something is broken. That small step matters because this build starts before the blueprint ever appears. Once Din Djarin and Grogu are there, talk to them and start working through the journal quests. I like that the garage is unlocked this way, because it makes the reward feel less like a menu item and more like something you earned while moving through the event. And that matches the build really well. A garage is not supposed to feel isolated. It needs a reason to be here. It needs a path in front of it, a bit of open ground, and enough space for a speeder to look like it can actually drive in. So while these early pieces are being placed, I'm already thinking about the layout around the building. I do not want the entrance facing a random wall. I do not want the front squeezed between houses. And I definitely do not want to finish the garage, then realize there is no good place to park anything. This kind of prefab looks best when the space in front of it is planned early. The blueprint gives me the structure, but the placement decides whether it looks like a real garage or just another reward dropped onto flat ground. The first quests can look a little strange if you only care about the building. You might be catching fish for Grogu, helping with banthas, mining copper, or gathering materials that do not look connected to a garage at first. But that is actually a smart setup. The event gets you moving around the worlds before giving you a building that is all about movement. By the time the garage unlocks, it already feels connected to travel, vehicles, and the Star Wars theme. There is one step here that I really do not want you to miss. When you receive Din Djarin's tome, do not leave it sitting in your inventory. You need to actually use it. Read the tome, let the game apply the unlock, and then check your guided builds. That is the step that can make the whole reward feel confusing. If the tome is unread, the garage may not appear where you expect it. Then it feels like the event is bugged, even though the blueprint might simply be waiting for you to open the book properly. So before I start designing too much around this area, I always want to make sure the unlock is real. Read the tome first. Then the garage becomes available. Once that happens, the build starts feeling bigger than a normal event reward. Mos Espa Speeder Garage is not just a small prop for the side of the village. Even while it is still unfinished, the footprint already starts taking over the space in a good way. You can see where the front is going to be. You can see where the opening needs room. And you can already imagine a speeder sitting here instead of being left somewhere random on the grass. That is why I'm keeping the front clean. If I start crowding the entrance too early, the garage loses the thing that makes it useful. A vehicle bay needs breathing room. The empty space in front is not wasted. It is part of the design. That is the mistake I want to avoid with this prefab. It is very easy to unlock a cool building, get excited, and immediately surround it with extra details. But if the entrance disappears behind decoration, the garage stops reading as a garage. So for now, I want the structure to do the work. The angle matters too. With a guided build, the game gives me the main shape, but it does not choose the best camera angle. It does not decide where the road should go. It does not know where I want the first vehicle to appear later. That part is still mine, so I want the front to face the direction where movement will actually happen. If I drive a speeder out of here later, I want that motion to feel natural. If the camera pulls back, I want the viewer to understand the entrance immediately. That is why I like building prefabs on camera. At first, it looks like the game is doing most of the work, but the creator decisions are still there. You choose the location, you choose the approach. You choose how much empty space the building gets. And with a garage, those choices matter more than small decoration. The style is doing a lot here as well. Mos Espa has that dusty, practical Star Wars feeling. It is not clean in a fancy way. It looks like a building that could handle vehicles, repairs, and traffic from people coming in and out all day. That works perfectly for a garage. If this prefab looked too polished, it would feel wrong. I want it to feel like something that belongs near sand, heat, metal, and speeders that are not perfectly parked. So while the walls keep going up, I'm trying not to soften it too much. The rougher, heavier look is part of the charm. A garage should not feel like a showroom. It should feel used, even when it is brand new. That is why the shape is more important to me than filling every corner with objects. And the shape is already clear. The building has a strong front, a clear function, and enough size to hold attention without needing to be the tallest thing in the village. That balance is what makes the prefab useful for a video like this. The viewer can understand what is happening right away, even if they do not know the exact blueprint name. They see the entrance, they see the scale, and they can guess what belongs here. For me, the first answer is obvious. This needs a speeder, not parked somewhere off to the side, not hidden behind another building. Right here, where the entrance can frame it and the garage can make the vehicle look intentional. That is when the prefab becomes more than a structure. It turns into a small scene. A vehicle outside the entrance. A path leading away from the front. Maybe a work corner on one side. Maybe a few useful stations nearby. Nothing too crowded, just enough to make the area feel ready to use. That is the version I like most. The garage stays readable, but it does not feel empty. And this is why I would also try to unlock the rest of the event rewards before June 6. The garage is great by itself, but the full reward path gives you more pieces to build a proper Star Wars area. The vehicle blueprints matter because they give the garage something to hold. The other Mos Espa style builds matter because they help the area feel connected. If you only unlock one thing, you still get a nice prefab. But if you unlock everything available from the questline, you can start building a real themed section of your world instead of one lonely structure. That is the stronger play. Use the garage as the anchor, then let the other blueprints support it. The update also has a strong vehicle theme, so this build fits the moment really well. With hover vehicles and new ways to move around, a speeder garage does not feel random. It feels like the kind of building the update actually needed. Some event rewards are fun for a day and then just sit there. This one can stay useful after the quests are finished. You can leave from here, return here, park here, and keep expanding around it. That gives the build a longer life than a simple decorative item. As the garage gets taller, the entrance becomes the main thing I keep watching. I want the front to stay readable from a distance. In LEGO Fortnite, builds can get busy very fast. If every edge has extra pieces, lights, furniture, and random decorations, the main idea can get lost. So with this garage, I would rather keep the first version cleaner. Let the opening be obvious. Let the roofline and walls settle first. Then, once the main structure is finished, add only the details that make the build easier to understand or more useful to play around. That is usually a safer way to build with strong prefabs. If the building already has a clear identity, decoration should support it, not compete with it. I do not need to prove this is a garage by adding too much around it. The entrance and the open front already say that. What I need is a good approach, a clear path, a vehicle that looks like it belongs there, and maybe one side area that feels like a small workshop without blocking the main view. That is where this prefab becomes flexible. If your village is in a desert, this garage can fit almost immediately. If your village is in a greener area, I would use it as the start of a separate Star Wars corner. You do not need the entire world to match it. One strong themed zone can be enough. The garage can become a travel outpost, a parking bay, a vehicle yard, or the first piece of a larger Mos Espa style settlement. That makes it easier to use, even if the rest of your village has a totally different look. For my world, I would treat this as the first real anchor point. Once the garage is here, the area has direction. The front tells me where the road should go. The empty space tells me where a vehicle should sit. And the size of the building tells me how much room the next structures need around it. That is why I keep coming back to the entrance. The entrance is not just a doorway. It tells the viewer how the whole build is supposed to work. If you are trying to unlock this yourself and the garage does not show up, I would check the tome again before giving up. Make sure Din Djarin's tome was actually used. Look through the guided build section carefully. And if your world is acting strange, it may be worth checking another setup or sandbox world. I would not promise that every issue has one simple fix, because event rewards can sometimes behave weirdly. But I also would not assume the blueprint is gone after one failed check. This is exactly the kind of reward that is worth double-checking, especially with the June 6 deadline. If you want all the blueprints, do not wait until the last moment and then try to rush everything. Finish the quests, read the tomes, and make sure the rewards actually appear in your build menu. That way, when you start building, you are not fighting the unlock system in the middle of the video. You are just building. And now that more of the structure is finished, the garage finally starts to feel like a real destination. That is what I wanted from this build. I did not want to place the Mos Espa Speeder Garage, look at it for 5 seconds, and move on. I wanted to build it in a way that shows why it is worth unlocking while the event is still active. The best part is not only the shape, it is how clearly the building tells you what to do next. Put a vehicle here. Build a route from the front. Leave enough room to move. Add a small work area only if it helps the scene. That is useful design, because the prefab gives you a direction instead of making you guess. And that opens up a lot of ideas. You could keep this as a simple parking bay. You could turn it into a full vehicle workshop. You could connect it to a road and make it the first stop in a longer travel route. You could even use it as the start of a bigger Star Wars settlement if you unlock the rest of the event rewards. That is why this one feels valuable. It is recognizable, but it does not trap you into one exact use. A good prefab should give you structure without taking away your own decisions. This garage does that well. It has the Mos Espa look, it fits the vehicle theme, and it still leaves enough room for you to build your own version around it. Now that it is almost complete, I know how I would finish the area. I would keep the main shape clean. I would leave the front open. I would park the first vehicle where it can be seen immediately. Then I would add surrounding details slowly, only where they help the garage feel more usable. Maybe a simple route in front. Maybe a small side work zone. Maybe another Mos Espa building nearby if I unlock the full set. But I would not bury this structure under decoration. The garage should stay the focus. That is the version I like most. Not overloaded, not hidden, and not treated like a background prop. Just a strong Star Wars garage that actually works in the world. So if the Mandalorian event is still active when you are watching this, check your village, find Din Djarin and Grogu, work through the journal quests, and read Din Djarin's tome when you get it. And remember, you can complete the event until June 6. If you have time, do not stop after one unlock. Try to get all the available blueprints because the vehicles and Mos Espa buildings are much stronger when they are used together. Do not let this garage stay locked because one small step was easy to miss. For me, Mos Espa Speeder Garage is one of the event rewards that makes the most sense to build on camera. It has a clear front, it fits the vehicle update, and it gives the Star Wars village a strong place for movement to start and end. And now that it is finished, I want to know what you would put here first. Would you park a speeder inside, use it for a hover vehicle, or turn the whole area into a bigger workshop? Tell me in the comments, because I really want to see how other players are using this prefab in their own worlds. And I'll see you in the next build. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this build, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next LEGO Fortnite